Okay, so a lot of people have been having problems with their sunroof leaking on their Jeep Commander. This is a 2007 Jeep Commander, and what I want to show you is the blue hose. I've already removed all this. This is your other door handle right here. This is on the driver's side. I've already removed that handle, and as you can see, there's a blue hose right here. That's your drain hose. A lot of people confuse it with this one. This is actually for your rear windshield washer. Now I've removed all of this just so that you can see it, but if you're having this problem where you're getting a lot of water building up, you don't actually have to remove any of this, okay? Now again, I've removed this, but let's open up the sunroof here. Now a lot of people aren't sure where it's leaking from. If you notice though, right down here, when you open your sunroof, right in this area, this is a tray right here. This is where your water collects. And if you're having a problem with a leaky sunroof, you'll notice that when it rains and you start churning or braking, you'll hear water splashing around. It's actually splashing around inside of here, inside of this area. Now right down here, right down in this bottom corner, you can't even see it on the camera. I'm not sure if it's going to show up or not, but right down in there, there's a hole where the water's supposed to drain out of. That's going to be the first place that you want to look to make sure that that isn't clogged up. Once you've done that and you've realized that there's no clog, if there's a clog, clean it out and it should drain out. But if there is no clog there, then the next step is going to be unclogging it from the bottom, from the other end of the hose, okay? Now that's exactly where your water's coming out, because this tray will fill up with water, and once you start driving or sloshing around and hitting the brakes, that water has nowhere to go except over the edge of this tray, either this way, either going to be that way, or it could be on that side, on this opposite end right there. Okay, once it gets through there, the water has nowhere to go. It's inside that metal casing between this panel right here and the actual top of the bed. That water is just going to splash down through here. It'll come out through this area right here. You see how I have these little bolt caps removed already. It'll come out through these holes right here. It'll keep going down here and leak all the way down onto your floorboard. I've had puddles, literally big, huge puddles, you know, at least an inch deep of water right down here. You can see some water damage along the lines. But let me show you where the other end of this hose is going to be at. Okay. So, like I said, you don't have to remove any of this because the hose isn't going to be clogged in the middle over here. It might be clogged up here, but you can access that. You can access this point just by opening your sunroof and seeing if there's a clog down here. Okay, you don't have to take any of this framework off. But like I said, let me show you where the bottom end of this hose is going to be at. You can't see it from underneath your truck. I've heard some people say you can, some people say you can't. I guess maybe it depends on your model. Either way, you don't have to actually go underneath your Jeep to find this. All you got to do is if you peel off right here, there's a snap. Move over to the next one, you'll find another snap, and move over to this next side. Now if you notice, I went to each individual snap and I pulled it up. I'm going to try to do this one. Okay, you see how there's three? I went to each individual one. Do not just pull up from this one, because you will end up breaking this panel in half. Those snaps are in there pretty good. You'll break it in half. But there's one here, one in the middle, and then one at the other end. Those three come off. Once you do that, be careful with these because they're very fragile. If you break them, you won't be able to snap that back in place. Okay? So just try to put it somewhere out of the way. You're not going to end up stepping on it, all right? Now, there's another panel right down here. If you pull up on that one, you might even want to remove some of this weather stripping. That's easy to remove and it's easy to replace. We'll go ahead and take that off. Now, we pulled up on this panel right here, and then again, you don't want to pull all the way on it because you will break this. You don't want to break this. There's another one right here, and then one more up here on top. See the three? You just pull towards yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. If you notice, it got caught on this lip. This lip right here, that's removable too. We'll just stick your finger right in that corner, pull out towards you, and just slide it across the same way that I just showed you. Just slide your finger up and it'll pull that out. Now then, now that that panel's not caught up here anymore, we'll just pull it out. Okay, it's loose. You might have to jiggle it around a little bit just to get it out, but it comes out easily. And again, this is another part that you don't want to be laying around where you might step on, because there are plenty of these that are very fragile. You might notice that I've already bent mine, you know, but that's not a big deal to me. Now you can already see the blue hose again right over here, and that's just going to continue going down. I already did the hard work. I followed it all the way down. I know exactly where it ends. Your next step is to pull the carpet open. Pull it up like that. Okay? Now, once you pull that carpet up to the side, you don't have to pull it all the way. Just like that is perfect. The more you pull on it, the less adhesive it's going to be. Anyway, you pull this flap up, and you'll see this little black circle right here. You can pull up on that. Okay, you see that? Take that out, put it off to the side. Once you have that circle removed, this piece right here, it's for your kick, it's for your foot to rest on. It's just styrofoam, so you can actually take that out. Okay? So now that we have all that removed, you're going to see underneath that styrofoam right here the blue hose again. Now there's a hole cut out and there's a rubber piece right here. The best thing to do is pull up on that. Now if you've already had leaky problems, then wait till the water's drained out, because there's going to be a lot of water coming out of here. However, if you're like me, what's a couple more ounces of water on your already wet carpet? I guarantee you this is going to fix the problem. Water will come out here as soon as you pull up on that hose. Next thing you do is go to the rubber stop that we had underneath it, which you might not be able to see right now, but it's right there where the hose is connected from. You're going to pull up on that. Just pull it all out. Now I already cut mine off, but you're going to notice that there's going to be a little bit of, you're going to see this right here, and there'll be some more rubber extending to about right here. And all of that will probably be full of some really gross looking, nasty smelling mud. Okay, clear it all out. Now if you don't want to do this procedure again, just cut off the rest of that nipple. If you noticed, I've cut it off right clean with this edge right here. If you have this window open, there's dirt that's able to stay in here. I don't recommend, especially if you live in windy areas like Lubbock or anywhere where there's sand or dirt blowing around in the wind, I don't recommend leaving your sunroof open while you're parked, because that's just a chance for dirt to collect right here and then be flushed down into your drain. Cut it off. It's a clean hole now. There's no chance of dirt or anything getting stuck inside of there. It'll rinse right out with the water. Once you cut it off, replace your hose and stick this back into the floor panel. You have it cut off. You're ready to reinstall it. Let's put the hose back as far as you can into this rubber piece right here. Just make sure that it goes all the way in. Okay, I can't do this with one hand. I'm going to put the camera down. I'm going to do it with two hands. Grab the hose, grab the rubber piece, and push the hose into the rubber piece. Now you see the bottom of the hose sticking out past the rubber piece. That's exactly how you want it to go. Next thing you want to do is just place your rubber piece back in. Make sure you have a good seal all the way around it. So you'll just feel around right here. Make sure you can't feel any gaps at all. Alright, once that's in place, then we're going to put your styrofoam piece back in. The way that this goes back in is this flat side right here goes out towards the interior of the car. This curved side right here, it goes against the floor panel. So let's just slide that back in. Now you'll notice the hole is not exactly in the center. It's more off to the right. Put the hole closest to the driver's seat. Okay, we'll slide that back up in here. Oh, let's remove this thing. Okay, make sure that this flap is up and not tucked underneath it. Okay, so we'll just slide that back inside of here. And you want to slide it as far as it can go. Your hole should match up. We'll move this back out of the way. Your hole should match up with this hole right here. Okay, and there it is. Once you've got that in place, you get your little tab that we put to the side earlier, and you just stick it right back in there. Alright, we'll cover the carpet back up, and then we'll start putting the panels back in. This is going to be a little bit tricky because it was a little bit tricky to get it out. But make sure that all of this is covered up by this panel, and make sure that your carpet is all down to the floor. We've got all that put back together. Let's make sure that this top piece goes inside of here. All your wiring and things go safely tucked away. And let's match this peg with this hole on the frame right here. See the hole? We're going to match that peg up with it. We'll get that in there and get this one in here. We'll make sure everything's tucked in and just give a gentle but firm push until you hear that snap. Once you hear the snap, it's locked in place. Now, the bottom one has a hole right down here that we're going to match this one into. Okay? And then you hear the snap. We'll start off with lining up the holes. Here's the hole that we're going to put them in. 1, 2, 3. Make sure there's nothing in the way of them. Before we do that, actually, I skipped this panel. Let's go ahead and get this panel back in. So I'll match up all the holes and gently push it in. Now you don't want to force it because there are holes right here that need to be matched up with their spots. If it's not going in, make sure you have everything centered and then push it all in. Now if you notice, there's a large lip right here, and there's 2 lips for your weather stripping. There's the interior lip, and then there's the lip that goes over that metal piece. You want to put your metal inside of this strip right here. That way this can hang over the trim of your interior. So just make sure that all your interior is in place, and you put your weather stripping just right over all of that. This kind of creates a barrier so that water will not be able to come inside from the door whenever you open your door. And then you want to make sure that this lip goes over all of your plastic trimming that's on your interior, just so that water won't be able to get inside of here underneath your carpet. Okay? Now, you've straightened out all your tabs right here, and we're just going to match them up with the holes. This piece goes over the weather stripping, so you got to make sure that you have your weather stripping in place before you put this next piece on. Okay? Now, we just match up the holes. We'll get them all in place, and once you have that centered and ready to go, just give it a little push, a gentle push. You hear the snap. Go to the middle, and I go to the other opposite end. And that's it. Make sure you close your sunroof once you're done and everything's ready to go. I am Chinzo. I appreciate you looking at this video. I know a lot of people were having the same problem and didn't know what to do about it. I saved you a lot of money and a lot of time, a lot of grief, and now you don't have to worry when it rains again. If you guys could all do me a favor, come out and check out my band. We have a YouTube channel and we have a Facebook channel. See what you think about it, and if you like us, become a fan. Thanks a lot.